newspapers. There are only 2 papers in the United States that I think have an assured future because they have a successful internet model to go with their print model, and that's the Journal and the New York Times. And I'm not saying it'll even be easy for them, but they have developed an online presence that people will pay for. Now, the third that may do it, again, going back to Bezos, is the Washington Post, and he's improved dramatically their situation online, and so it's conceivable that their math works. But if you look at, there's 1,300 daily papers left in the United States. We've got 31 of them. There were 1,700 or 1,800 not that many years ago, and it was an incredible business when you were first in everything. I mean, you could tell people how their stocks closed. I learned how my stocks closed by looking at the paper. I learned who won football games or what the box scores was of baseball. I learned all kinds of things with the paper first, and now you've got an internet. And aside from the ones I've mentioned, 13 or 1,400 papers haven't figured out a way to make the digital model complement the print model in such a way as to guarantee the future. So circulation is going down significantly. Advertising, I mean, it used to be dozens and dozens of pages of help wanted ads. It basically disappeared, and no one has found the answer to that yet.
President Trump has looked at the media as a potential enemy. Steve Bannon has said they are the enemy.
Yeah.
You've had a long relationship with these newspapers that you read every morning. You've been invested in newspapers like the Washington Post and many other newspapers. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that every president I've known and every politician virtually I've known, one way or another doesn't like the media. They just are smarter about how to handle it, maybe in terms of covering it, or maybe he's smarter taking them on. But in any event, the media is looking for things to write about that, and they should. I mean, that's their job. But who wants somebody looking at everything you do with a critical eye? And the higher the office, the more they're going to look at it with a critical eye, the more airtime it's going to have and everything. So he expresses his feelings, but I would say that he is not unique in having those feelings among politicians.
Not at all. You know, you are not somebody who has embraced Twitter, although you do have a Twitter feed. How many times have you tweeted?
Well, I think there's 7 tweets up there, but I haven't done any of them. I have this friend that talked me into getting a Twitter feed, and she's put up a couple things. But the answer is I've never tweeted anything really myself.
Do you find yourself following, though, anything on Twitter? I mean, I know you don't have an iPhone, but I know you have an iPad, right?
I have an iPad. Somebody gave it to me, though.
Do you ever?
No. Well, I would say this. There's 2 things I was told in life many, many years ago that turned out to be terrific advice. One is to praise by name and criticize by category. Somebody told me that 40 years ago. And Tom Murphy, 40 years ago, said, Warren, you can always tell somebody to go to hell tomorrow. You haven't lost the option. Both of those pieces of advice have been very good. And I would say that both email and Twitter really can cause you to stray from that very easily. Because if you can just whack out something, it's very easy to tell somebody to go to hell in 10 seconds if you get mad at them. And the very act of having that available instead of writing a letter or doing something of the sort, I think has made a lot more things come out of the people shouldn't have said. I think they do better following my philosophy, but I think it's harder to do that if you can tweet something out in 5 seconds or go to email and say, do the same thing.
So how often do you think that guy's an asshole but not tell him?
Well, I certainly thought that over the years. It hasn't always been guys either.